Hey everyone, I'm Paul from Harsh Creek Outdoors. In this video we're going to talk about painting your firearms. If you watch our videos, this gun may look familiar to you guys. This is my father's turkey gun. It is the Browning A5 Heavy 12. This is the gun that I started turkey hunting with way back 30 years ago. So what I'm going to do is give this gun a facelift. I'm going to clean it up for him, and it's going to get a paint job. So here we go. Alright, first things first, whenever you're working with a firearm, you're always going to make sure your safety's on and your gun is empty. Alright, first thing we want to do is we got to clean this gun. We got to take this tape off and degrease it. So, here we go. This tape's been on for quite a few years, so this ought to be interesting. Alright, there really isn't too much tape residue on the gun. However, there is some, and my dad is a freak about cleaning his guns, so his guns are always well oiled. So right now I'm going to take my Purple Power, I'm going to put it on my rag, I'm going to wipe the entire gun down, including the wood. Okay, well, the gun is now dry, and we are going to prepare to paint. Before we start flattening paint on this sucker, we got to take a little bit of time and tape off any of the areas that we don't want to paint, or we don't want to paint getting into, like in the action and down in here on the trigger. So here we go. Okay, I've got everything taped off. We don't want any paint getting inside the action of the gun. Normally when I paint my gun, which is a Remington 870, I take it apart to paint it. However, I think with this gun, I'm going to leave it together when I paint it, just so I can make the pattern blend all the way up through the gun. Now that we're taped off all your nooks and crannies, it's time for paint. For this gun, I'm going to go with a army green color from Rust-Oleum. The secret here is, guys, light coats. It doesn't matter if it takes 5 coats to get that base on, but you want it light, and all you're going to do is mist, and the can does not stop moving. my base coat is on. I'm looking it over really well to see, make sure there's no light spots, and it actually looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go in now, I'm gonna have dinner, I'm gonna let the base coat dry. The next step is something you guys are gonna wanna think about, and it's gonna be your camo pattern, you know, what you decide to do with it. You know, where we hunt, it is primarily hardwoods, hemlock swamps, and a lot of brush, viburnum. So for this, I think I'm going to try and do brown leaves like maple leaves, but I'm also going to put some green in there. I think the next step is going to be laying out where I want my green hemlock or pine boughs. So I'm going to think about it while I eat dinner. So I got time. Let's go eat. We're going to use these this little pine bough for one of our stencils. You know, if you look at these pine boughs, they have needles on all the way around. So if we were to lay that down on our gun and use it as a stencil, yeah, we might get a little bit of a, you know, an outline from it, but we really need this thing to lay down flat on the gun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to clean off the needles on one side, and that way it'll lay more flat on the gun and give us a better outline. Okay, I think that'll lay down pretty, it's going to lay down pretty good. Obviously you guys are going to want to clean up these needles when they're all over, or else your wife's going to kill you. So second color, my green, is starting to dry, and you know, it's just a little bit dull. I think I want it to be a little bit brighter green, so I don't have any more, you know, a brighter green spray paint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some of my acrylic paints, and I'm going to just touch where I want these pine boughs to lay. I'm gonna touch those up with a little bit more of a lighter green. That way, when we spray over them, you know, that green from the actual pine bough, they'll stand out a little bit. Alright guys, well, now while I'm working on this side of the gun, I've got my green laid out. Now what I want to work on is the blending around those pine boughs. So what I've got here is some brown, and now I'm going to have to play around with it and create a mixture to find what I want to do for, say, my maple leaf pattern. So, now, what we want to do is we want to try and work where we're going to blend, you know, our browns and our greens. Alright guys, so now I've got my green laid out. I've got some of my brown laid out. I got that olive drab color too. Let you guys see what it looks like. Alright, well, I'm back in the garage. I am painting or starting to lay out the detail on the gun, and the first thing I want to detail is my green or my pine needles. Now all I need to do is lightly brush over it. Get my little cans. Okay, now pull this out of here, and as you can see that, we'll zoom in on that. zoom on that. Yeah. So again, now you can see I've got pine needles. Like pine branches. Now, I'll show you guys how to do it. And now, got that there. Give this the old. Okay, well, I'm back in the garage, and it's really a really nice day out. It's a little bit breezy, so it's perfect for drying paint. However, it's not very, it's not the best for applying paint. So I'm in the garage. My lighting kind of sucks. I apologize. What I'm doing today is I'm starting to add depth in the camo pattern. So right now I'm laying out my leaf pattern, and then we're going to go with our next color. As soon as that dries, we are going to prepare for the next layer. I've layered my camo out, and I put on a couple different colors of paint. So I'm going to show you guys what this thing looks like with the paint on and the stencil still on it. So let's take a look. Alright, so it's been about 20 minutes. I'll start taking off my layers of leaf cover here and see how it looks. See this? We got a couple leaves down in here. Alright, for sponge dabbing, all we want to do is we want to take your paint, and you don't want to put it on heavy, it's got to go on light. So you always want to, hit your paint and then dab it off, and then, apply it to the gun. Alright, it's the last step. I've got the gun painted, and now we're going to give it our last, final coat with a matte finish by Krylon. I'm using Krylon because that's what I have in my paint kit. We want to use a matte finish just because it's going to reduce that glossy appearance and be a little bit less reflective when it comes to sunlight hitting the gun while we're in the woods. We're going to put this on in multiple really light layers. This is going to help us protect our gun and hopefully keep the paint from scratching. It's still going to scratch. Well, we got it done. As long as you take your time, have fun with it. You're personalizing your gun. Make it what you want. And like I always say, if you mess something up, either go over it or clean it off and start over. I really enjoy painting guns, and especially hunting guns, turkey guns. But I know I'm gonna be able to see my dad carry this through the woods this spring.